Good day, Namibia. My name is Tonole Mungoba, and welcome to another COVID-19 update where we discuss how the coronavirus is affecting the different stakeholders in our country. Today in the studio, I am joined by Dr. Paulus Sheetekela, Director of ICT Services from the International University of Management, also known as IUM. Welcome to the studio, Doctor.
Thank you very much for the invitation that you invited us to come and air our views and the reactions on the COVID situation in the country.
Thank you very much for joining us, as I mentioned. So it is no secret that the COVID-19 has affected the academic calendar from different institutions of higher learning. But I would like to find out in detail, how has the academic calendar of IUM been affected specifically?
So as an institution, we have an academic calendar which have outlined activities along the year, and we wish to carry out our activities in normal circumstances. Hence now the COVID situation in the country does not allow us to continue in normal circumstances with our academic calendar. So what we have done as institutions together with management is that the institutions have holidays, which was supposed to be in April, session, and we have a midterm holiday. So we plan to have moved those holidays forward so that the academic calendar is not disturbed. But if the condition continues or the lockdown continues, obviously then we will be affected much heavily than we planned. But we can now go back to the drawing board and discuss and make out a decision that would plan for the situation in time of the lockdown if it continues.
Okay. You mentioned the lockdown, so I wanted to find out what measures has IUM as an institution of higher learning put in place to ensure that teaching commences after the lockdown, and we can also touch on if the lockdown is extended, what will happen then?
So currently what we have at the institution is that we have e-learning platforms. These are systems that aid students and lecturers to use in terms of giving lecturers, sharing notes. This has been there already in the institutions. It was mainly used for distance and in-learning students, but now that we are in this situation where we caught off guard, we now planned and we have moved most of our academic subjects online. So currently lecturers and students are using these platforms to share notes, lectures, and also specific teaching and learning materials that the university is supposed to conduct during this time. So
thirdly, I would like to find out, the executive director of the Ministry of Higher Education has supported institutions of higher learning commencing or continuing or launching e-learning platforms. But there's also been a discussion about students who are not in areas that have connection, or students who don't have the equipment to access these e-learning platforms. What has IUM done to make sure that all learners are accommodated?
Yes,
students, I mean.
Yeah, students. We understand the challenges. The country at this time don't have enough, so to say, network coverage in all areas, and that's pose a big challenge to students that are from rural areas and remote areas in this country, or even in the city itself. So not all the houses have provisions of internet, and most of this platform works when you have internet. So what we have done is to continue with the support from the ministry in terms of continuing the e-learning platform to use it, so that now students that are able to share, and these platforms are available and can be used when someone is having a smartphone, not just a laptop. And smartphones, most of the students have them. They can view their notes, they can download, read, and also upload and do some changes to what is required. And also they can do the assessments using the small mobile phones that have access to internet. So in this regard, as the university, we also planning to make sure that institutions or students, what we appeal is to our students to find means of getting these e-learning platforms online, to use them with their smartphones, even though there is a challenge that's now poses that the country need to come together in a coordinated effort that the institutions of higher learning running now on e-learning platform due to the conditions we are at as a country that need to be looked at from bigger views and from where perspective, like everyone should get involved, from parents also to aid their students to get these devices, and from our government to support. We know we have a caring government that is enabling our platforms to continue with the education in Namibia.
Okay. So what about the students who have practical courses, such as nursing, for example? I know that nursing is a course that's offered at IUM. So what is your plan for these students, considering that they have to be doing their practicals or courses that, you know, that you can't really assess online? How do you plan, or how does the university plan on making sure that the students are also not left behind?
Yes, we understand that from not only nursing, IUM also offer ICT subjects and other subjects that have more practice. So in this time, on our platforms that we use e-learning, both they could be used for demonstrating. You can view videos on these platforms where a lecturer can now demonstrate how certain activities can be conducted, and students look at them, and also be able to aid to students, and students can be able to download these videos either on their mobile devices or laptops. So in terms of nursing, for example, if perhaps the government could come forth and provide necessary equipments and tools or protective equipments where students could go in the hospital to aid in this time of COVID situation. But as institutions, we are tight, because if anything happens to the students, if we let them to go out there, then we would be blamed by parents. So we wish to come together with the government, and if they could provide certain conditions on students that need practical, especially in situations like this, so that in terms of future references, something similar comes up, we have qualified cadres in the health professional that can be able to attain and curb the situation as we are in now.
Okay. Lastly, Dr. Paulus, before I let you go, you mentioned the government should come on board and assist in the department of availing their services, such as to make sure that students are not left behind when it comes to courses that have practical means. So the government has launched, or they are planning on launching, a stimulus package to assist institutions who are privately funded. Has IUM also looked at this package, considering that you are a private institution, and has revenue been affected?
Currently, I cannot go into specific details of the finance issues, but I have a specific information that I know and understand from the management perspective of the university, is that we, in terms of revenue, we highly rely on, academic fees for students that are paying. And if now the lockdown continues, perhaps, and the continuation of classes through online platforms, some students who are not able may drop out, and that also would affect our revenue in terms of now continuing with provision of services. But as an institution, using our e-learning platforms and other online platforms that are available, students can be able still to use this as a tool of gaining knowledge and getting their lectures from the lecturers. So that's where now we stand in terms of finance. We highly rely, and the government is a caring government that we are in, and they have specific platform, as you mentioned. I think the university's management would look into that and come forth to seek, specific services from the government.
Okay. Thank you very much for joining me, Doctor. And we hope that the situation will come down soon, as the students are a huge, huge, huge priority.
Yeah, so we also urge our students to make use of these means that the e-learning platform the university has put forward. We understand their concern, especially network devices and so forth. So we are still planning and also in full discussion, not just planning, but in full discussion to find out means on how to assist and make sure that the students at least have something to do during this lockdown, not just to sit home, but the e-platform is there for them to use. It's a so to say, user-friendly system that they can use. It's instead, we also sharing guidelines through emails and social media platforms like Facebook and WhatsApp group to them on how to use specific activities on the e-learning platform that we have in the university, both for students and lecturers. And I thank you for the invitations. That's mostly what we are doing as an institution of higher learning, to make sure that education, learning continues in the country for our students.
Thank you very much once again. So students, you heard it from the horse's mouth. Make sure that you engage the e-learning platform and you make use of it, as the institution is going through lots of time, and lots of time is being put into these platforms to make sure that learning continues. So from me to Nole Mongoba and Dr. Paulus, it's goodbye until next time.